Brokenness came through. I became broken more and more every time I stepped out of that door, every time I stepped away from my children, stepped away from my grandmother, but she never stopped praying for me. I was raised by my grandmother at a very young age, 6 months. She raised me in a Pentecostal home. It was just me and her. I did everything that she asked me to do. We went to church every day, maybe 2 days out of the week we weren't in church. When I got to the point in my life where I turned into the teenage years where I thought I knew everything in life, I went ahead and opened the door and took off. I stepped out into the world. I did what I felt Denise needed to do, and I will say the devil was there. He was prowling. I fell off into drugs, into every drug that you could think of. It consumed my body. Alcohol, the streets, the people I thought was my friends, they took my life over. I walked out of school, became pregnant at a young age at 19, had my daughter, my son Marcus, my son Nicholas, 3 children. But a part of me, I wasn't ready to raise them the way he wanted me to raise them and the way my grandmother wanted me to raise them. I would always go and drop them off to her. To me, the world needed me. The club scene needed me. My friends needed me. And my children did not at that time because they had my grandma. Everything that they needed, she was going to give them. They'll be there in the morning, but I have to go take care of myself. And I did that. I continued to do that for many, many years. I knew right from wrong, but I chose to do wrong anyways. I let the world continue. I let the drugs continue, the alcohol, the men, the so-called girlfriends that I thought were truly my friends. To me, I lost a lot of my life because I was inside the church. I was missing so much, but I never realized till later on down the road what my grandmother was trying to protect me from. I fell on hard times. I let a man abuse me for many years because I felt like that's what love was. My children had to be separated from me. My boys went to live with their grandparents. My daughter stayed with my grandmother, and I was sleeping in my car. I had hit rock bottom. Next thing you know, I was put on 5 years probation. I still didn't learn from not doing the drugs. I got sent to 3 different rehabs. Still didn't learn a lesson. I was still broken, but behind all of this, I was still smiling because I didn't want anyone knowing what was going on with Denise inside. I couldn't let them know because that would show that I was weak. During the year, I'd say that I was away from my children. Someone within the family hurt them. They damaged them. So everything that I went through, my children went through. So not only was I suffering, then they became suffering. It turned my heart to stone. It turned me even more angry than what I already was. So next thing you know, 5 years probation, didn't finish the probation, fell. 3 times I fell. And next thing you know, the same judge that sentenced the person that did my children wrong was the same judge that sentenced me to a year in state penitentiary. That broke me. That was my broken moment. Even though that I'd seen so many people go to jail and prison that I knew and that I grew up with, not me, not Maybelle Perkins' daughter. She was raised in a Pentecostal church, not Denise, not little Niecy that everyone knew that could do no wrong. They had no idea. They had no idea what I was battling inside, from addiction to abuse to alcoholism to everything. How I'm sitting here talking to you now is only by the grace of God, because He was not done with me yet. My grandmother never stopped praying for me, even though she's been gone from this earth since 2013. Her prayers have been going since the moment I came into this world, because she knew her Heavenly Father. She knew what He had in store for me. And I'm here today to tell anyone out there watching this, I know what you feel. I have the scars, but I also have the stand-up testimony, because the devil didn't get to take me out. My God had other plans for me. From the time that I was in my mother's womb, He already wrote my story. I can say right now in this moment, I am so thankful for the scars. I am thankful for what I've been through. I am thankful for what I could possibly still be going through, because none of us are perfect and we never will be. Until he comes to take us home, we're gonna keep trying every single day to get it right, and that's what I'm here to do. And I am full. My heart is so overwhelmed right now of joy, because I used to have hate and anger and disappointment in my heart. And I'm here to tell you that he loves you with all of his heart. He created you for goodness. It's all for his glory. This isn't about me. This is all about him. He's using this vessel to speak to someone out there. And I'm here to tell you that I love you and that I'm here for you. And anytime you need to talk, this woman right here will speak to you about the overflow of joy that God has given to me. And it will never be taken away from the world, from the enemy, from anybody, because I carry God's love within my heart. God bless.